is. It's just like, I'm wearing the sunglasses. I think this actually works. It balance it out because
Yeah.
it is freezing here.
It's pretty nice here, but I'll be back in the cold on Saturday. So yeah. Well, you guys, welcome on in. My name's Kathy Norton, and the fabulous, the star of the show, Manuela Mercagiani, is with
Ooh,
us. So we're so excited with Isomers, of course.
Isomers.
So yeah, welcome on in, everybody. So we've already got people talking to us. Jane, hi. Renee, hi. Diane,
Hello.
happy Monday. Yeah, so we've got a theme for this today's live, and that is sculpting and contouring.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but before we get there, I've got to do some housekeeping here. Today it's kind of exciting because Isomers has right now a coupon, save 20, which means 20% off any order of $99 or more. So you can go ahead and combine those as well. So if you see something you like, get a couple of them in your cart, because right now we've got savings that are crazy. Let's see, we've got a 31% saving. We have a 50% savings today as well. So this is when you're going to want to shop. And when you're done putting everything in your cart, before you check out, save 20 for an extra 20% off. So I think this is awesome. And what Manuela is doing still, I don't know when she's going to stop giving away things, but you can sign up for a Facebook or Instagram for your chance to win an Eismer's bundle. And this is for I think we've got the spray and the microbiome cream, maybe, but I know that we've got a bundle that we're giving away. So let's do that. But so why sculpting and contouring? I mean, that seems like something of a great theme. So let's talk about that, and then we'll segue into, like, if people are just joining us and they've never heard of Isomers, we gotta get there. So take us down the path.
Of what? The sculpting and contouring or isomers? I got a little confused there. Which
Take
one
down
you
the
want?
whole path, just
Okay.
all of it.
Well,
Skip it.
this is really well. I'm a cosmetic chemist, and I own and operate Isomers Laboratories out of Toronto, Canada. So I've been, working with and talking about skincare for most of my life, right? Since my 20s, as a developer of products, problem solving, right? And when we talk about skincare, and I think you get into it, I got into it because of the fact that so many things feel like they're out of your control. Something happens with the way you look or whatever, and you're like, I want to fix that, I want to address that. So you're always looking for solutions. Most of skincare, I think, circles around or exists around the face, right? Everybody's on the face, right? And it was interesting too, because when we were on Shop HQ, they would want to bring in other brands, and people get confused. And I would always say you should bring in a lot of other brands, but we should try to have brands that specialize in different areas, because everybody's on the face, and that's only like 5% of your skin. 95% of it is neck down, maybe
Yeah.
90%. Yeah, that's a large area to be ignoring, and yet it means so much to us, because that's the area that we show in a way, to our neckline, our arms, our legs, our bellies. You're going in nice weather. I mean, we all want to be in nice weather so that we can take off all the wrappings.
Yes.
And then you don't want the skin to be not at its best, right?
Yeah.
And I think that this is, Europeans really think about the body, and they think about formulating products for the body, and thinking about carving and sexy or feminine or clear skin or whatever, having your skin look very young. So with Isomers, as a cosmetic chemist, as a problem solver, as somebody who had cellulite, as somebody who really addressed my own body as well, the contouring and sculpting, I think, is very important. So this comes from, with Isomers, it also comes from the fact that we do age and change. We do have hormones. We gain weight. We lose weight. We have babies. We fall downstairs. We do silly things. We bump into things. And a lot of times, we put on clothes or fashion or whatever, and we want to look our best. We want things to be where we last remembered they should be.
Yeah.
Not where they are now.
It's so true. I mean, so when I think of sculpting and contouring, which is what kind of we're theming the show for, I always go back to what you and I used to talk about on Shop HQ, and that's, are you a sinker or a sagger, right?
Exactly.
Sinkers or saggers, what is that going to be about? So if you're a sinker or a sagger, you are in the right place at the right time. You are in good company as well. There's people like Elizabeth that's joining that has been using Isomers for almost 16 years. Yeah. So we love that. So sinkers and saggers. sinkers and saggers, what they're looking for when they look in the mirror and they go, "I'm sinking and sagging," what they're really looking for is sculpting and contouring, right? So let's move into our first product, which is our Redensifying contouring cream. So here already we're talking about contouring, right? This is going to be today $39.99, which is just normally $58. We took 31% off. It's 50 milliliters. And with the coupon, if you get that card up to $99, we're going to save you 20% off, which is save 20. It brings us down to, don't listen, Manuela, brings it down to $31.99. $31.99. So this is crazy. So we're already using the word contouring. We're already talking about contouring cream. So
Yeah, perfect.
let's go here. Redensify contouring cream.
Yeah, so we have the body here, but we're going to talk about the face first. Yeah, which is perfect. The Redensify contouring cream for the face. Yeah, the thinker is saying you've lost volume. You think about a nice, juicy pillow or your duvet or anything that has a lot of form to it, and over time it wears down, it loses, deflates. Our skin underneath has fat pads. We lose those fat pads. We lose the adipose. We lose that cushion, and through time we start to sink, we start to sag. We have the same amount of skin, if not more, because it stretches a little bit, and yet so you see it's all draping everywhere. So to help contour, to help define, to help lift, to help tone, we need to refatten the skin. So this is designed as the redensifier to refatten the skin, to add the density, to add the firmness. Someone, I was talking to someone, a friend of mine, and we were talking about skin as we age. Like first, some people have skin that's like like burlap, like what you get onions and potatoes. You get burlap sacks. We want our skin to be more like silk. And she said, I don't. I want my skin to be more like flannel. And I said, you're right. That's what we want. We want it to be more like flannel, not silk. Because the flannel, it's got shape and texture, and it's dense and it's thick and it holds things properly. Silk is still, that's beautiful and smooth and everything, but it's very flimsy. It's not going to be really that juicy. This is where we get flannel for your skin. And the reason why that's important is, again, it's going to have the strength, it's going to have the integrity, it's going to have the bounce, it'll have the glow, it'll have better hydration, better luminosity, but it'll also hold your contours, and that's all about your shape and your expression and how you radiate.
So this is really for those of you guys who are out there that are watching. And let me see. That's so Harry says hi. Let's
Hi,
see.
Harry.
Customers for life. Hi, Manuela and Kathy. So that's great. But this is for those of you who are looking for firming, who are looking for volumizing. It's so interesting because when you look at like the signs of aging, people are saying, well, loss of firmness, loss of volume. You don't have those great cheeks like Manuela always has. We love that. But this is for you. And so we start talking about, what steps they are in your routine and how to work it in. So with the contouring cream, who's it for? Kind of we know the skin concern is going to be loss of volume, loss of firmness, but like who else? Like the age and the skin type.
It's going to be over 40 skin. It's going to be people who've lost a lot of weight. A lot of people are taking a lot of these peptides and therapies now to be losing weight, and their skin is not bouncing back as quickly. So this is going to help bring more integrity into your skin. Anybody who's started to notice a slackening, do you have that sagging skin? Like, you may not notice that you've lost volume. Like for me, it's probably harder to notice I lose volume because I've always had chipmunk cheeks. I've always had, chubbier cheeks.
Lucky.
But you will start to see it down here on the jawline. You'll start to see it on it's not as sharp. It's not as defined. It's not as lifted. Maybe you start to notice a little bit of pooling around the neck, because it's all kind of connected. So you want to kind of lift, or, the whole thing. Can you do this? Can you go in the mirror?
I just did that this morning when I was curling my hair. I held my hair up and kind of did a little pull up, and I went, that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Right.
And you think, and if you can start doing that, and it becomes measurable, or you start to notice deep creases, deep folds, because everything does fall forward this way. It's all pretty much here. And this is where, so you want to be able to, when you start to notice this kind of softening of your contours, this is where you go in, and people are going to say, well, how is it doing that? Well, this is doing it because it's adding volume and density within the skin itself. And by making the skin much more 3D as opposed to 2D, as opposed to thin and flat, it's making it thicker, it's making it fuller, it's making it rounder. So then just in its ability is holding things together better, it's going to naturally lift and have better shape. And again, I'm going to go back to the bouncy castle. If you have a deflated bouncy castle and then you reinflate it, it's going to take up much more space and much more organized space and much more structured, designed space. So we have skin and you've got all the parts together, but they're kind of loose. They're not really connected. They're not very organized. They're not optimized for space. So this is what we're doing here. We're sending the signals in, we're giving the fats, we're giving the nutrients, we're giving these elements into the skin to create this strength and optimization and organization the way it should be. And this is something that happens better when you're younger because the communication is better, the tools are better, the structure is better, the energy is better. So skincare's job is to revive a lot of those markers, the energy, the communication, the tools, the information.
So when we start talking about, we were talking about like facial contouring, and when you talk about the sinkers and saggers, I immediately think of the men in our family. We call it the Norton slope, where the guy's chin slope. They literally do this, right? They slope down. So, and the women, we're all taking care of our skin, but the men, it is the Norton slope. So this is for men and women, which I
Yes.
think is great, because I think that if you've still never experienced Isomers, it's fragrance free. I mean, you're not going to go smelling, perfumey or any of those things. For all skin types, over 40, men and women, which I think is great. And if you are on Isomers' website, I want you guys to read the reviews. 100% all 5-star reviews. It's people use it, they love it. They feel like it's that that extra, almost that barrier. So it's step 4 in your routine, isn't that right?
Yes, because it's going to be protect, right? This is also correct and protect, 3 and 4, but it definitely is the last step. So this is a cream. This goes after your serums, after your cleansing. So you're going to clean your skin, you're going to feed it, you're going to put your serums on. The lightweight, you go from lightest to heaviest. So this is the cream. The cream goes on over your serums, right? If this is part of another routine, say this is someone who also uses oils, for example, on their skin, then this would go on before the oils.
Oh, okay. And
Because you
why
don't
is
put anything on after the oils, because the oils aren't going anywhere, right?
okay?
The oils are going to shellac.
Yep.
They're going to seal in everything else, right? So this is where it would go in your skincare routine. So if you're doing Isomers or a typical skincare routine, your cleanser, your serums, then this.
This is it. I mean, today at 31% off. I mean, if you're
That's
looking for
huge.
something, yeah, it is huge. And then we're going to give you another 20% off on top of it. So dropping that price from 58 down to $39.99 today. Once your cart's over $99, we're down to $31.99 just with a code SAVE20. So build that cart up, which I think is amazing. So you're looking at 50 mil. This is going to last you day and night, right? Day and night. So you're going to use it. Can you get 60 days out of this?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, so 60 days.
There's
So
2
that's
months
perfect.
supply, using it every day. You don't need a lot of product, but you use the dispenser, you've got,
Yep. I
there you
love,
go.
this is my favorite.
So you're going to get a good portion. That is a lot of product.
A
People may
lot.
think that's not enough. My skin is dry. How can that do it? Everything. This is all about the science, right? It's very deceiving when you're dealing with something very scientific with a very good delivery system. People are just thinking more is better, and you're going to it doesn't work that way. Things can only absorb and use so much, and it needs to be in the right amount. When you're putting on more product, brands love it. Slather it on. They love
Yeah.
it because you'll buy more. But doesn't mean it works more. It works for the brands. It doesn't necessarily work for your skin. So with Isomers, we're really, really aware of the delivery, how much you should put on. You shouldn't put a lot on because, again, we're about problem-solving skincare, right? So we don't want you to overuse your product. It's not really going to do that much benefit for the
I
product.
love it. I mean, if we want the honest truth, you just ask Manuela. She'll always tell you, right? I mean, you guys have shopped with her for, if you've been shopping at Shop HQ going on 28 years. She's been around for a long time. When I say 3 decades, it just is astounding to me, right?
Yeah.
Women founded, co-founded, woman owned, co-owned. I mean, this is like something that like out of a dream, right? For all of us that love shopping with you. Oh, but we've got some questions. Jane wants to know if you feel the skin tightening with the cream.
You don't feel the skin tightening. This is not that kind of tightening. We're not tightening by making it like an astringent or creating a tactile network because a lot of tighteners, what they are is in the wet form, when you're putting a cream on or a serum on that tighten, they're very large molecules. And as they dry, it's like your hair. You know, your hair is longer wet than dry, right? That's why you never cut your bangs with wet hair, right? You always cut it
I
with
made
dry
that
hair.
mistake.
Otherwise, you end up with bangs up here, right? We know this. So there's a lot of molecules that can sit on the skin surface and they're wet and long. And as they dry, they shorten and it tightens the skin. That is one of those kind of trick kind of formulas that you can use to get these kind of instant temporary kind of look. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about going in and you know your door and your door frame are exactly the same, but when you go and you screw in all those, you give a little extra tightening to all the screws on the door, then it closes better, it works better. That's the kind of tightening we're talking about. So it's actually allowing the skin to be held better and hold itself better so it doesn't have those little sags and those little blips. So you've got to think more. This is more elevated than just tightening the surface. Anybody can tighten the surface.
It's like a
getting in there.
Scaffolding underneath, right?
It's the mechanics, exactly. It's the mechanics of getting all those things. Then they fit better, snugly, and then they're going to be stronger and they're going to work better together.
Okay, so that was the first question. We got another question that just says, would you put on the LX neck first, the neck serum first of the LX?
Probably with the neck, I would put the neck. Well, honestly, if I was doing my face and then I did my neck, I would do it the other way around. I would put that on, then I would do that on. So I would probably put, it's all the order of operation. It's not going to matter because the LX neck and this are both cream, so it's not going to matter. So they are going to be synergistic. So you could layer one and the other. But again, you don't need to use a lot of product, especially on the neck. The neck really needs little product to spread really well. You really, with the neck, you've got to be really careful to spread it out on the neck right away to the back too, because think of your neck more like a quilt. It has all these little points on it, and you want to be able to spread along all those points to get the maximum results.
I mean, the neck it's so interesting that people are asking about the neck because I feel like, especially with my girlfriends, they're all just getting into their 60s. They do this all the time. They like hold their,
We need bull clips. Someone needs to invent a clip for the back of our necks like this.
Totally. I know. I mean,
we have to talk to 3M. I'm sure there's tape or something.
There's gotta be. Oh, I know that.
You know what it needs? It needs to hold our hair and our neck.
It's perfect. There's some Hollywood makeup artists that actually do the taping of the neck and back, and they like, I don't know how it stays at it, but somehow it works. But now we're doing it so you actually see the results. How long do you think it's going to take someone who's using this the way they should, twice a day, to see those results where we don't have to tape our necks?
Well, our clinicals show, for us in-house, we've been able to show rapid, visible. I see it, you see it, other people see it within 28 days. So you're talking within a 4-week span, you're going to start to see those results. And we're talking about visible results. So that's going to be significant in its lift and its firming and its toning. I think you start to feel it right away. I think within the first 48 hours, especially with the hydration and just starting to build in. And as it gets deeper, you won't notice it so much that week, but the following week, then it kind of amplifies, right? So you're going to start seeing different things at different times, but to get I think the visible that people are wanting to see where, my neck looks a little soft, I want it to look firmer, within the 3-4 week window, but you got to be honest, you've got to use the product. And it's not a tall ask to use the product every day. At least once a day, and to follow through, because we're talking about a few minutes, right? And this changes your skin.
So step 3 and 4 could be in your routine. This like your support, your protection. We love
Yeah.
that. So instead of paying $58 like you would on a normal day, today with that coupon, save 20 down to $31.99 once your order gets to $99 or more. Now you can stock up on this because we've got an unopened shelf life of 3 years. So this is your day. Stock up and every single day when you check back with Shop HQ, you're going to see that we add more and more Isomers products every single day. So I know some of them are some of the gals out there saying, I'm still waiting for the glutathiones. Is that what they're waiting for? I just dropped my phone here. They're waiting for all different kinds of products right now. And we are going to be bringing those back in. I mean, it's slowly but surely, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And did you just call me Shirley?
Yeah, I called you. Say Shirley. Frankly, Frank,
Frank is.
just to be frank,
Yes, Shirley.
okay, we're gonna when we started the show earlier, we started talking about like the contouring and not just contouring of the face, but sculpting of the body and the face too. You immediately mentioned like cellulite and weight loss. I am telling you what, I think the biggest health trend that has happened in our lifetime is the GLP-1s, the weight loss drugs. I mean, so I would say 5 out of my 10 friends who are in midlife, who are in menopause era, are on some sort of GLP-1 or semaglutide. Now, I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying I like it or not like it. What I'm saying is it's a fact that there's so many people out there that are lost a lot of fat that's holding their, that's plumping them up. I remember one of my girlfriends, Connie, and hi, Connie, she used to always say that, she didn't have any wrinkles because she would just eat another cheeseburger. And I thought that was hilarious. And she always said that. But now, she's like, at my age, the cheeseburger's not doing it anymore. I need some help everywhere. So Manuela to the rescue, of course. So she has bringing you, I think that one of the things that I've seen her the most excited about, and that is the spicules. And this is the Diamond Peptide Spicule Body Cream. We sold out, I want to say day one. We sold out of all the spicules, brought it back again, sold out, brought it back again, sold out. Well, today we're giving you the big one. This is for the body cream. It's normally $100, 100 mil. Today we took 50% off. We're down to $49.99. I know, but wait, if you are getting more and you're stocking up, get to $99. This goes down to $39.99 with your Save 20 coupon. It's crazy.
I
So
would get 3 immediately. Honestly, I would just
immediately,
grab them up.
because
This
you're going to
is
use
so
this,
good.
I mean, I've been trying to get this décolleté back in shape after years and years of sun damage, right? And so I've just been like, anytime these go on sale, I'm buying it. So let's talk about what this is. Today, you guys, don't forget $39.99 with that coupon.
This is like, this is, first of all, it's an overnight treatment. You put this on your skin before you go to bed. You leave it on. I want it on, at least 6 hours. That's the protocol. It needs to work in your skin overnight. So it's an overnight facial, overnight body treatment, overnight diamond infused microneedling treatment with no pain. This is going to renew and revitalize your skin. It is spicules. Spicules are needles naturally found in the ocean sponge. So, like roses have thorns, sponge in the ocean have spicules. Now, what's important about this? These spicules are made out of calcium and silica. These needles are made out of calcium and silica, and they're very fine, very visible, and they penetrate into the skin just like microneedling. This is important because it's doing a few things. The act of penetration, like microneedling, why microneedling works is because it breaks, it chops that, it's like, it like aerates your garden. It's going to aerate your skin. It's going to go in there and breaks up your collagen. Really important too, if sometimes you get little nodules and they kind of mat it or knit it together, the collagen gets a little sloppy. It's going to be able to go in there and it's going to break it up a little bit. This will do a few things. One, it helps exfoliate, right? Some of the there's be shedding. Two, it's going to create this trauma, but positive trauma. Just like weightlifting causes positive stress, this is a positive stress for your skin that basically chops up the collagen and forces it to start making more collagen in better shape. Kind of wakes it up. Kind of like how LASIK works on your eyes, this works on your collagen. Very similar in that sense that the breaking it up a little bit of the bonds creates more integrity with the connection, right? Then it also is going to help with absorption. It's going to create channels. Your skin is a filter. Right? So your skin is a portal. So it's going to create channels, and this will allow product to go in deeper. And the more you can get down deeper, the earlier it is in the pathway, the better your results, right? So this is quite revolutionary. It's acid-free, pain-free, huge upside. This is the thing with the spicules, is that I've been able to see skin like crepey skin or skin with scars or keloids on it literally change. That everything else, acids, peelings, all this stuff wouldn't change it, but the spicules do. And I think it's this natural invasion. And I also think because spicules made out of calcium and silica, they deposit a lot of good nutrients at the same time that allows the skin to optimize. So I find tightening, I find toning, I find changing. I can't say enough about it. And I love this body one because the body gets, I don't know. I think there's like areas of our body too. It seems to get a little bit sluggish, right? The belly area, the bum area, the thighs, and this kind of jazzes it up.
It's so interesting because when you go on to your website, and you guys, we normally would be able to show these to you, and eventually we will, but we have her here, real life, real time. Manuela has on the website like what her tummy looked like. I mean, you were like, you have looser skin on your stomach, and
Yeah.
you've admitted, I don't want to be going in the gym, 7 days a week trying to, do all this. But you use this, and I mean, you were your own clinical study along with others, of course. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's dramatic because you always think, what do I do with this loose skin? I mean, I've had babies, whatever else, right? Lost weight. You did it.
I never had a problem. How everybody's body is different, right? So, and everybody knows their own body, but I think most women see. I always had a problem with my bum and my thighs. It's like I always had a J Lo type bum, and it was not fashionable when I was growing up to have that
Yeah.
kind of figure, right? So I was always trying to like get rid of that, but I never had a problem with my waist, right, or my belly. Didn't matter what I did. I was just born that way. Okay.
Yep.
But I know that that's important because every single one of my friends or everybody when I was growing up, it was always about their belly and their waist, right? So imagine never having an issue with it. And then you get to a certain age, and literally, I went on my all fours to do something, and I looked down. It's like, what the hell is that?
Exactly what
When
you're
did
talking
this
about.
happen? And I
Yeah.
never had an issue. And all of a sudden, not only did I have an issue, it was like a mushy, like it's like, where did this come from? Where did this Sharpay just, pop
Yeah.
out of? Right.
So
And it was just like so disturbing and so interesting, but also interesting thinking, wow, how to and then with the spicules, I addressed it. And
yeah.
I had looked into like I had heard I asked friends, what do you do for this or that? And they're like, well, I thought you didn't have a problem. Well, I said, well, you know what? If I go on all four, I used to go, look at this, like, and I said, it's like a party trick. Look at this,
Yeah.
what I can
Oh
do
yeah.
with the skin. And they're like, yeah, you can go and get this, like, you could do like, there's some kind of
Sculpting.
laser
Yeah.
or all
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
sculpting and all that.
Yeah.
And
Full
I'm thinking,
sculpt.
no, because I also know that there's a lot of downsides to those things. So
Yeah.
this is what I went, and I was happy I was able to just do this because I didn't try anything else first, so it was not like damaged or changed. So in essence, I was a really good subject to
Yeah.
try this, like brand new in this situation. But it's very interesting to see how our body changes, and you kind of can take things for granted for like 55 years, and then all of a
Right.
sudden,
Well, and
no.
I mean, so much of our body, I mean, after 50, I mean, I mean, it's not like a slow decline after 50. It's a huge drop off. And I think that that's where a lot of us notice that. Mine was,
Collagen dump. I love that terminology. It's a real thing, the collagen dump. It's
it's a
like
collagen dump, it's an estrogen
Tuesday,
dump.
boom.
Crazy. Yeah. So you're talking about, getting down in like a plank position, looking down. I remember looking down, and it was my thighs that were like literally hanging off of my bones. And I go, well, that can't be right. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
like
wait, what? I mean, because I don't ever, when I'm standing straight, my skin seems to be holding together. But then
looks
when you're on all
perfectly. It
fours,
looks like it's where it should be, right? It
wow.
looks like it's connected, and it looks like
Yep.
it should exactly be there. And then you
Yeah.
change your
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's so funny. Okay,
right?
so I'm glad that you did this because this has been like an ongoing issue, and it's so funny because you said almost everybody's just doing from here up, right? Skincare for the, like the chin up. I mean, the rest of your body, right? In fact, we're getting someone right now. Suzanne is just saying, "Where are you? It looks like you're dressed for summer." I'm in Mexico,
Yeah.
so in Mexico, you're going to just show more skin. And you guys, I am just like you, right? I've got all the skin, the damage that I did in the 60s and 70s where we didn't know any better. I wish someone had told me. And now all I have to do is go out in the heat. And we talked about that too, how the melanin, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
As soon as
So
I hit the
now,
heat, this area here,
oh,
I just feel it like immediately. Because once during my honeymoon, the 1991, I got a little bit of sunburn in this area. And ever since 1991, anytime I get heat, and especially over 50,
yeah.
this area, bad.
The same thing happens with me. So Manuel's got you guys. This is what I think is so amazing. And I was just like, I think I messaged you on Instagram yesterday because I had something came up on my Instagram, and I'm like, they were touting this body cream that is just like magic. And I'm like, is it though? And so this Manuel is always giving us the science, the actual clinicals behind it, because I'll tell you what, if you are seeing, you know, stars, or it's just always coming up on your Instagram, you're like curious, right? I did some investigating, and I mean, ingredient for ingredient, what you're getting from Isomers is scientifically proven. The
Yes.
clinicals are there. Someone that you've trusted for 30 years. They didn't just appear with a cute bottle somewhere. And so if you are suffering from all the things that we're talking about, which we always, kind of do with humor, because what else can you do, right? But if you've got those body parts that have been your always just kind of the thing that you didn't love, or if it's recent because with age or weight loss, I mean, this is it. And as far as like, if you could get one item for body care, you're looking at it right now. Am I
Totally.
right?
Totally. It's so well done too, because of the spicules, because of the collagen stimulation, works on the brightening, is going to really help with the overall texture and tone and hydration. It's going to help with the repair. It's going to help the skin to be younger, firmer, stronger. Also, your skin usually neck down, we're not taking care of it. It's a large area. So usually you need a lot of product. And most body products and most body creams are just the hydration. You don't get the technology. So your body literally is starving for technology. Like the amount of respect we pay or the research we put into face products, we're doing the same for your body. So you can expect a lot. So you can deal with the pigmentation, with the texture and tone, the thinning of the skin, the stretch marks, the discoloration, the
Oh,
wobbly bits.
yeah. I mean, and what I think is interesting is that the sort of the after effect that I wasn't even concerned about is that after I've been using it since you first introduced it, the other thing I saw besides, the crepiness was so much less because I was losing volume in my biceps as I was aging. And so I was getting those big long, lines and crepiness. Along with that tightening up, the other thing I saw was a visible glow to my skin. I don't know where that came from, but there was not just all the tightening. It wasn't just all of the the extra skin seeming to like go in the right place, but it was glowing. Why is
Yeah.
that?
I think the glowing comes from two things. I think one is because it goes in and does like we talked about earlier about when your door frame and you're going around and you're tightening up all the little screws and then everything just works better. I think that this helps to restring and reposition, creates the cellular organization, the integrity, and then the maximum hydration. So every level is nourished and hydrated. And so you're going to get 3D by all sides volume. You're going to get the glow. You're going to get the bounce and the juiciness, and you're going to be able to see it in the sense that because it's going to take up space properly, and then therefore it reflects. The glow is there. We do glow because we do have energy and communication going, but if it's dulled out because everything is sluggish and the communication is poor. But this also has diamonds in it too, so you're going to get a little bit of glow from that,
Yeah.
but not a sparkle. The glow, the
Yeah.
diamond is more a adds brilliance to the skin, but helps with the shedding and refining of the skin.
Well, this is all part of that advanced collection too. So
Yes.
so we're saying it's step 3 in your body care, like the correcting part of it. So part of your nighttime routine.
Yes, yes. I like to do this nighttime. I like to do it after the shower. What I find really good too is after a nice gommage,
Oh
rinse it
yeah.
off, put that on, and sometimes in target areas I like to do maybe a double layer and then go to bed. Right?
Yeah. And when you're getting up, and people are saying, okay, so I slept with this on, I'm doing all the right things. What about during the day? What do I do next? Because we're having a lot of comments about, oh, I'm looking at sun damage. I can't ever, I've got a permanent
You
tan
can
from,
keep, well, the way this one is created, you can do this, you can use it in the daytime as well. The key to the spicule is the 72-hour window. So even though you may not have put it on in the morning, it still works. It's in there for 72 hours. So you're not missing out. That this is the trick where people think, well, I need to put it on all the time, or if I put on twice a day, I'm going to get twice as good a result. No, because it's in there and it's doing its job. Let it run its course. So you can skip a day even every other day and use it and still be on track because it goes in to your skin. It does what it needs to do for 72 hours before it's shed naturally, and then you can continue. So you don't have to worry. So what I would do during the daytime, I would use something different. I would use the glutathione body cream personally.
smart. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we love that. So we're getting a couple more questions. Elizabeth, we talked about sunscreen before because she says she's got a permanent tan now from a trip to Italy.
That's not
and
bad. It's a good
Yeah,
memory.
no. I mean, especially if you're going to Italy. And then Teresa says, is this for dark spots on your hands or do you recommend a different product?
You could use it for dark spots on your hands, absolutely. And the different product I would recommend is protection. So SPF, gloves on your hands, especially if they're very predisposed to getting a lot of pigmentation. But this would be your treatment. The others are going to be your protection, right?
Right.
So this will help reverse. This is going to go in, break it down, fade it, reverse it, regrow, but your SPF or your gloves are going to be protection. So, and you need to do both. You can't just put this and then not protect your work. It's really important.
I mean, and it's so funny because the hands always give it away too. And so I get it because, but what Manuela has taught me is that whatever you have left over, whatever you're doing, whatever skincare, just put it on the back of your hands as well. I mean,
Totally.
I do that, or if it's a serum, I'll tap, tap, tap around my lip because I talk so much that I've got lines around my face from talking, literally talking. So I want you guys to know that when we launched this, how many months ago was that we launched this? Was it even a year ago?
Oh, it's a year.
Has it been a year? Oh my gosh. Well, see how fast it goes.
You know,
So
so much has happened. If we had to
ugh,
do a year recap, oh my gosh, I was like, I can't even believe how much has happened.
so much has changed. I know. But when you launch this, we will launch it for $100. And it sold out completely, along with every other thing that any of the spicule stuff, it 100% sold out. Today we took 50% off. So now it's under $50. And then because of the coupon, save 20. Once you get your orders of over $99 or more, it goes down to $39.99. I seriously would buy like 5 because you're going to use it every night. If you're like me and if I put it on at night and I shower in the morning, well, then I want to put it on again. So you guys are just going to notice such a huge difference. And
Huge.
yeah, and Manuel, you're so right because we treat this, but this is what gives away my age every single time is the décolleté and the arms. Even
You
my
want it
son,
to match, but it also doesn't even look normal. Like it doesn't even look natural. For women, like we need to start advocating with each other in the sense of like you think you're getting away with it, but you really aren't. People can see that your neck and your belly and your arms are, and so if we give solutions saying, you know what, this is affordable, this is easy to use, you're going to get the results, it's not painful, this is something you could do. We're not saying go to a spa and spend thousands and thousands of dollars. If you can, that's great, but
Yeah,
still
you
you've
could.
got to take care of your skin, right? You've got to take care of yourself. And if we make it manageable, it's not just a body cream, because body creams, and I've looked at a lot of these formulas with the cocoa and the butters and this and that, and all it is moisturizer, moisturizer, moisturizer. Sometimes it has a little bit of vitamin E, or sometimes it has a little bit of, some kind of vitamin in there, or antioxidant. They're saying, well, this is going to do it. Doesn't. There's no technology. Here you're getting technology. If I was going to say this takes away 10, 15 years off your face, which it probably does in the sense of because of the spicules and the treatments of the microneedling, imagine what it's doing for your body. This is
Yeah.
where you're going to have your boobs are going to be perkier, your skin's going to feel different, your belly is going to be like I did it for firming and tightening my belly, and you can see it on our website how much like visible
Oh yeah.
difference.
Yep.
Look,
It's crazy.
even to
Uh,
this,
the thing I think about is when you talk about
there's
microneedle.
no there.
Oh,
Look at that. It's all gone. It's literally all gone. There's no more crepiness.
this is after 2 babies.
Two
Yeah.
babies and menopause and all this
Yeah.
other wonderful
Yeah.
stuff that happens to us. You
Every
know,
time.
I laugh about it. Like I think when I became when I hit 25, I was mortified. Like I was like,
I
oh my gosh, I'm no longer under 25. I hit 25. That was like a ceiling for me. And then after that, I didn't have kids till I was 35. Then, going through my 40s and 50s and then raising children, being busy. And now I'm in my 60s and I'm like, come on, bring it on. Let's
know.
go.
It's so interesting. What did they say? Something is wasted on the youth. Um, but yeah,
Youth.
yeah, youth is wasted on the youth is exactly what it is. Because I'll tell you what, you guys are, if you're with us, Manuel and I talk about a lot about this. The community that Isomers has built over the years is such a group of like intelligent, strong, really
Very intelligent.
smart women, and
Yeah.
you guys get it, and
Real.
I love that you get it. So it's amazing. So this 100 ml, if you're using it every single night, what are you thinking? Is this like a 30 to 60 day?
Yeah, it's probably about
Yep.
let's go in the middle of that. Let's go to
40.
40, 45 days. You
Yeah.
don't need a lot of product. Again, as much product that you use. But right now, what they've put together for you, because I don't have anything to do with the pricing or whatnot, and Shoppers
Right.
is doing some really great things here. What they've put together gives you this opportunity. It's January. You're going to be able to start taking care of your skin in a way you've never done before from the neck down. If you don't want to do it all over because it's too much for you, or you're just pick a spot.
Yep.
Pick one body part. Maybe it's your knees, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's the back of your arms, maybe it's your bust line, right? Pick, it. And I think that women should wear a lot of jewelry and they should feel beautiful and all that. But you want the skin underneath the jewelry to look good, because people are looking. If they're going to show that necklace off or that neckline off, make it really like all
Yeah.
that. You
Make it
deserve it.
show.
Make
It's
it.
so it's so interesting because I told my kids are here in Mexico with me with their wives. And I wish my daughter-in-law was here. I'd make her come and say hello to you guys. She's like this pregnant. She's having a baby in about, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks now. But leave it to our children to point things out, right? So I have all boys and all brothers, and so me being the oldest girl and the only girl, I mean, picked on incessantly, right? But it doesn't stop, because my 31-year-old son was sitting next to me on the couch yesterday. I've got a pair of shorts on because we're in Mexico. He literally put pointed to my thighs and goes, "Why is that all wrinkly there, Mom?" I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, he goes, "When did that happen?" I'm like, "Okay, Alec, you're 31 years old. It will happen to you too. I know you're having a baby, but it'll happen to you too." And it's so funny because, there's no filters with those boys. They'll just point it out. And I actually got to tell him, I said, you know what, I'm actually talking about this with Manuela, and this is what I've been using. I know it's there. You don't have to point it out, but this now is our time to do something about it. Right now, we actually have solutions for you guys, and this is really, really super important that we're able to do this at not just 50% savings, but also with that coupon. So I love it. We're doing this again tomorrow, We're
We
doing
are.
it again. We're going to do it again. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about routine boosters. So you've got this routine that you love. Maybe it's all with your Isomers products. Maybe it's with another line you love. But we're going to talk about boosting that routine. And we're going to talk a lot about, we'll talk about the advanced collection as well. But we're going to also talk about resurfacing and balancing and protecting. So we're kind of do all of that, which I think is going to be really fun. But today, make sure you go ahead and sign up for that Facebook, Instagram giveaway. I think that's really important as well. And yeah, today we're talking about contouring. We're talking about, the sinkers and saggers, or not just your face, but your body too. So it's kind of all of it.
Yesterday, the other day, we
Yep.
had a conversation. Today's Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's such a blur. It's already a blur. It's only Monday. My weekend was so jam packed. Anyways, Friday, last Friday, we had a conversation. I don't know if you're up to speed on the conversation, but we were talking about the segment that we do, right? And they love the Brads when we talked about Brad Pitt and Bradley Cooper, and about their botched face. What we thought about Bradley Cooper's work and how Brad Pitt's work was much better, and we started talking about that. And so we were talking about during these, we want to do little segments. We're going to talk about product, we're going to talk about skincare, but we're going to talk a little bit about pop culture or something that we want to bring in real life. So if people have, and we're going to answer some questions, maybe we can do something like that too.
Yep.
But I think we're going to make this a special time for us to come together and connect. So we are going to be offering you great product with great information and great science, but maybe we're going to give you a little bit of a something to think about, or something to laugh about, or something that we can share, because I think it's really a really nice place to be able to chit chat and get together. And because we look at it, I have people now that are talking to me about, men talking to me about, oh, you think I should get this done or that done. I'm like, don't get your eyes done. If you get anything done, get everything else but your eyes. And why? Because I saw the Cooper. I don't want you to change that part of your face, But anyways, I just thought that the format might be interesting for our viewers right now to know that they can contribute if they have some stuff they want us to talk about that's outside of this. We can tie it into health and beauty and lifestyle, and food and whatever. But I think it's important because it's all connected. It's about community, and it's about taking care of ourselves. And
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. Our Isomers customer for life said, "I love the celebrity gossip." So it's so good. I mean, it's interesting because one of the things, if I was just watching right now and I was, one of you guys, which I am, I'm one of you guys, right? Big Isomers fan. Like, what are you interested in right now? What is one of the topics? My biggest topic for the year is longevity, lifespan, health span. So, I mean, you guys, you get me started talking about that. So if you guys have questions for that, I am like a ferocious reader when it comes to like anything that has to do with longevity and health span. So, and if you're going to be living a long, long life, why not, make, and it all, like Manuel says, all ties together, right? That ties into your happiness, that ties into your emotions, your connections with other people are super important to live those long lives. And if you're going to be living long, and your skin's going to be exposed to everything, I mean, we've got you covered. But I think the other thing that Manuela, what I think you and I were so important to us is we're not just here to sell product. That's not what we're here for. We're here to like this community of women that are all like-minded. So that's why we're so excited you guys are joining us.
Yes. It's when you were talking, I used to talk about the fact that people used to live to be about 40, right? 40 years old. You live to be about 40. And I always remember this about 40 because I'm Italian. And Nero, the emperor of Rome at the time, Nero, he had a law that when you hit 40, they would kill you, right? Because he thought people over 40 were a burden to society. Until he turned 39, then he changed the law, right?
Sure.
And I always think that's very funny, right? But here's the thing. We as humans were designed to live up to a certain age, right? 40. Let's say 40. Let's say it's 40. Let's say it's 50,
Yeah.
just for ease. And with our, well, previously, because I cannot honestly say right now our nutrition is better than it was back then, because I think all the processed food they make us eat is just terrible. But with modern society, let's just say,
clean water.
we now live to 75, 100, right?
Mhm.
But our bodies, our frames haven't changed. So we still peak at 20. We don't peak now at 40 and living to 80, right? We still peak at 20, even though we're at 40 or 50, we were gone. So this means what? This means we're peaking at the same time, we're fertile at the same time, we lose our fertility at the same time, right? That's why menopause happens when it happens, because you kind of, as a species, you're supposed to be gone when you're no longer useful for reproduction, right?
You outlive your ovary function is all that's
Right.
happening.
Exactly. We're outliving it. Exactly. Our function as a species, right? So what does this mean? Let's break it down in a different way. We're living longer. We peak at the same time. That means we have a longer decline, the time where we're rusting out and aging. So it's now become much, much longer, and now it's longer still, and it's even more invasive now, less private, because of social media. Before, you could get old in a small town, nobody knew what you know, once or twice a year they saw. Now we're like everywhere all the time. It's like
everywhere.
So with all of that going on, it's better to have a community where we're talking about this, where we know things that we can do with each, that's not jarring, scaring us, confusing us, very simple and clear, things that we can do as a community, accepting how we're aging and things that we can do while we're aging. But I do think that with this longer decline, it's more important to share the information in the community.
100%. Yeah. I mean, so you guys, if there's books that you love that you've read about, things.
I have one. I have been asked to watch Heated Rivalry. Has anybody watched it?
No.
Oh.
I'm writing it down right now.
Oh, you got to. It is the sensation of sensations. And I know this is very out there, but.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
See, this is the kind of stuff
if we start talking about that, we're going to go viral.
Okay, I got to go check this out because I haven't even heard of it yet. So I can't wait.
So we will see how we can slip that one in there. But we could be doing, you know what? We can do, we can put our makeup, we could do our skincare routine and talk about shows that we watched.
Absolutely.
There we go. So ladies, that's it all together. I can't wait.
That's a super fun thing. I mean, there's so much, you guys, that the best thing about being our age is that I think we're past the point of hiding it and not talking about it. We're embracing it. We feel like it's just, for me, it's been the best era ever. You just know who you are.
100%. 100%.
Well, you guys, we're going to do this again tomorrow. I know we kept you almost an hour today, but when we start chatting.
We want to say, but you guys have to share the love. This is all we're asking from the audience. Please like, share, subscribe, tell people about it, and come with, and no question is off limits and are silly or relevant. No. Just participate. That would be so great for us, for all of us. We can all learn from each other, and we all need to know, we're just here to support each other. It's a real safe place. There we go. We're seeing the love.
We are. And you see, that's what we always end the show with is be kind to each other. And that's what we're kind of doing. Spread the love. That's what we're doing. And so I always give the last few minutes, the last goodbye to my friend Manuela, because you love her. And we're so glad you're here with us. So Manuela, it's all you.
Thank you. Remember, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, good thoughts, good deeds, and good words.
I love that. See you guys tomorrow.